So here's a little follow-up on the bleeding tissue colored paper. These papers are pretty much dry, so I thought I'd just show you some of the results. I think this was one of the first ones I did, and like that, how that came out. And as you can see, the color shows through on the back side too. So if you like the little bits of white, then you wouldn't want your paper to get quite as wet. I like it really all over color, more like this. And to get that look, you have to really get your paper wet. But as you can see, it's colored on both sides, so I don't have to go back and color the other side, which I like. This one here shows some wrinkles that were in the tissue, which I like that. This one's nice and blendy. I think this was one of the, and I don't even know which was the main page I colored, because it shows through on both sides, which I like. I like how this one came out, that little bit of purple up there. And then most of the copy paper isn't dry yet, but the deli paper dries really fast, so these are done. And these I had salt on them, which I'm going to kind of brush off. You can see what the salt does. Let's see if I can show this a little closer. You see in that blue area there, it's kind of speckly. So that was the salt. And some of them I put salt on, some I didn't. Color on both sides, which is nice. Like these colors here. I think might have been a little salt there. Like these, just pastel colors. I mean, I'll use these as pages in journals. I think that they will work nicely. So this one had salt on it also. And you see all that speckling over there? I think that's from the salt. I had some pretty big pieces of salt that were stuck together that fell here, and they made these nice little water spot looking blobs, which I like. I like that one too. I like the way they all came out actually. And see, color shows through on both sides. This one here was the one that had a lot of white space on it. But, the color kind of blends in, so that's fine. So this actually, it looks wrinkled, and I guess the deli paper wrinkled a little bit on this one, which I could iron it or just leave it like that. See all those specklies on this one? This one, I guess I put a little bit of, I think I used that red, which the red was, didn't really color that well, but no, I think this was the brown. I had brown in this corner, and I let the colors run together a little bit. I like that mix. This one has some white space in it, so it wasn't as wet. This one here got really wet. This was a top layered one, pastel colors. This is still a little wet there, and I could feel some salt, so that needs to dry a little more. This one here was very intense. So besides using these as journal pages, I think that they would be nice made into little envelopes in a journal, I think that would be pretty. This one here the paper was not as wet, so it leaves more of the white showing. So the wetter your paper is, the more the colors blend. Here's one here. I have a few others over here that are still drying, and I did these after I was through making the video. This one here, pretty intense colors. This one I actually left the tissue paper on while it was drying, just to see what would happen, and it just made the colors darker. And speaking of the tissue paper, see, this is, I just don't want to throw these away because I think they're pretty, and they could be used in collage or just all kinds of ways. Layering and whatever. So here's another one that's not quite dry. It's got some little beads of water color on there still. Here's another one. It's still drying. And it has salt on it too, and the salt's still kind of doing its thing. So this was copy paper with salt. And another one that had salt on it. And this one, see, right in there, that's what the salt does, which I think is cool. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. So now we have a good supply of it. Somehow a lot of orange and yellow snuck in there. I was going for more of blue and green, but definitely we'll be able to use these. All right, just thought you might like to see.